Hi everyone. It says I'm live, so always fingers crossed, right? Thank you so much for joining me. I know I'm just a couple minutes late tonight and I apologize. My Zoom settings were didn't save the last time I closed my computer, and so um, you guys were seeing more than you should. I'll just say that. It takes a lot of work to put together over 200 projects, and behind the camera, it's messy. I'm going to tell you that it's messy. So we just keep it contained to this one little section. Isn't this wonderful? The internet, you don't have to be wearing pants. I am, but you don't have to be. You don't, have to clean your house anymore because nobody comes over. And hey, you just have to adjust your Zoom so that people can see a strategic section of your house. So thank you so much for joining me. This is our February club card date. Yay! Please comment along if you're watching live. I so appreciate seeing all of the notifications, and I look through and they warm my heart every time I read them after. I really miss having you here, but I'm really happy that we can do this. I think that this is a really great alternative, and it really makes me feel connected. Last night we did our Zoom meeting, and it's Zoom. I'm calling it Zoom because that's the word that everyone uses, but it was actually a Google Meet, and so I got to see my lovely crafting friends working along with me, and I got to see their smiling faces. I got to see their furrowed brows, when something wasn't working, and we got to work through it together. And that's really why I got into being a demonstrator all those almost 14 years ago. I really love connecting with people and showing them something new and different, and learning and trying new things, and creating together, I think, is really incredible. So thank you for taking the time for yourself to, spend some time creating. I think that's so important, and spending some time on yourself to do something that you love. So again, thank you guys for joining me. I really, really can't wait to get crafting with you. I've got a lot to show you. Okay, why don't we go through maybe some stuff on the computer first while people are joining, and I'm just going to maybe transition here. So if you have received my club cards, either, in the mail or picking them up from my porch, I also emailed you a set of 4 of these instruction sheets. Well, they're instruction sheets, but they're not instructions because you get the instructions from me. So these are more supply sheets. And these are based on the projects. You'll notice, yes, I left the pictures as a mystery because I don't want to spoil the surprise. I want you guys to tune in. But if you're looking for, any of the supplies that we're using here tonight, or if you're watching the replay, I guess it could be whenever. But if you're wanting to, purchase any of these, I've got the item numbers on there. I've got the prices, everything for you. And these are, project number 1, project number 2, project number 3, and number 4. And so if you are a club member, I'm going to be emailing you updated versions of these that have pictures and a little bit less of a cryptic name on them, like not project number 1, but we'll say like butterfly card or something like that. So stay tuned for that. After tonight, then I'll have the link for the live, and so I'll send that out to everyone. So I also wanted to talk about a special promotion that we're having right now. This is Hey Chick and Hey Birthday Chick. So Hey Chick is actually a product, a stamp set that we had for Sale-A-Bration. I think it was a few years ago. It was more than just one. And then we've also got the Hey Birthday Chick, which is new in sorry, I'm trying to do something else and I shouldn't do that. It's in our mini catalog. So the Hey Birthday Chick stamp set is in our mini catalog. Hey Chick is back, but we've got 2 brand new sets of dies. So these are really fun and have coordinating frames that go around the stamped images, but also they are have little farmhouses and things to match as well. So definitely check this out. If you love chickens, which I just think that these images are so awesome. And if you can't see this properly, just contact me or look on my Facebook page and you can see these images a little bit larger. Okay, I'm going to transition you now down and you'll get to see my hands. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our catalogs that we have going on, because it's kind of confusing what's happening here. So we've got 3 catalogs that are current. We've got the Big Mama catalog, and you can see these are all the products that we're using tonight. So I'm going to take you through those as well. And this one here is actually active until May 3rd of this year. So if we're looking between the 2 of these catalogs, mini catalog versus annual catalog, this one is ending first. So make sure that you get the things that you want out of here, because as soon as the retiring list comes available, usually it's a month early, so we can probably plan on, April something for that. Then things start to sell out really fast, and it's always going to be the back half of the catalog that sells out first. So starting on page 141, these are all of our papers and punches and markers, and I don't think that markers will really be discontinued, but ribbons, everything, all the accessories, but most of all our dies are going to go really, really quickly, I would assume. That's what's happened in the past. Now in the front part of the catalog, we've actually got stamp sets, which are all shown at full size. So if you are new to Stampin' Up, you kind of know exactly what you're getting here when you take a peek at the catalog. But the stamp sets are made in Kanab, Utah, so we don't have to worry about those selling out as much. They actually, will be produced kind of almost on an order basis. Sell out. But of course, there's a matching set of, I keep wanting to call them framelits tonight, but they're called dies. Then not left with just one and not the other. Okay. Mini catalog, this one's until June. So just looking on the back of the catalog, I like to show you, it just says till June 30th. So this one is going to be available for longer than this, but I'm assuming that we're going to know what's continuing forward from this catalog into the next catalog, because we will have the new annual catalog. So, but it's nice that we have at least, like a month and a half to kind of figure out what we want from the stuff that's going. So I don't know how they're going to handle this. This is kind of a new little area that we are traversing here together. But I'm sure they have a plan. So we just, buckle up and we go along with the plan. Now we've got a third catalog here, which is just on until the end of the month. So we've got less than 2 weeks left for Sale-A-Bration. It's our biggest offering of the year. It's our biggest special of the year. And it's getting you free product for every $60 increment that you spend. So for example, we've got a whole bunch of stamp sets and papers. And then if you flip to the back of the catalog, we've got some deluxe items. So these ones are free with a $60 order. And then we get to the back and these ones are free with a $120 order. So this is a really, I'm going to just show you this stamp set because it doesn't do it justice on the cover and in the catalog. It looks really small, but these are huge stamps. A huge robust stamp set with lots of images, and I really like that it gives you the outline as well as the little artistic swoosh that you can ink up and stamp and color it all in one. You can, of course, with any solid stamp, you can do lots of really fun techniques, so keep that in mind as well with this one. One that I'm thinking that would work perfectly would be to make your own ink pad using re-inkers on a baby wipe. So just fold up a baby wipe and then drop re-inkers, and that's something like this that we use to re-ink our ink pads. And you can just kind of drop, put your baby wipe kind of folded like this, and then drop different colors on there, and then you can stamp and you get one stamped image that is covered with different colors. So that would look really beautiful. I'm thinking for the butterfly, how beautiful for the leaves, right? So the leaves have the outline as well as, having the stamp that goes along with it. So that's a really fun set. And then probably my favorite item is also free with a $120 purchase. I got to show you guys the full size of this because it's just so beautiful. We've got our adorable strawberries. This is actually coordinating with a stamp set from the mini catalog, which is strawberries and a whole bunch of sayings. And it has a strawberry punch, you guys. So cute. And then this stamp set that comes along with this pack of designer series paper, it's a 2-part piece, and it's a deluxe redemption with a $120 purchase. But you can't get these two separately. So it really kind of makes it special that way. Okay, let's see. Okay, so many. There we go. So Berry Blessings is the stamp set. And maybe I'll just show you here. We're using it on one of our cards tonight. Cards. You guys just notice I said cards? Who's this Canadian lady here? Oh, you know what? We're not using it tonight. Do you guys ever flip to this back part here? It's got all the bundles. Page 49, it says. I'm sure this is why you guys tuned in, right? Just to see me flip through catalog. Oh no, that's not the right one. Hey guys, what day is it today? Tuesday? Okay, it's page 44. I can't even blame it on a Monday. You guys ever have days like that? You're just like, oh my goodness, it's a write-off. So this one here is a sweet strawberry set. So you can see it's different than the one that you'd get for Sale-A-Bration. This one has strawberries and leaves and flowers, and then the top of the strawberry here. And then they've got a punch that goes along with it. And this punch is so cute. It's got 4 different parts to it. So you can see, you can do, you know, the strawberry itself, the leaf, the flower, and the top. And since Valentine's Day just ended, I know you guys are going to be excited about this idea. And that is to go and get some chocolate hearts and turn them into strawberries. You'll probably get them on clearance now too, because, you know, they're not in season anymore, right? Hearts are not in season, but strawberries are always in season. So I really love this idea of, you know, using a punch and then making something really fun and cute. So again, you could purchase this sweet strawberry along with the punch, bundle and save 10%. And then you could get maybe some adhesives to top you up. What's the bundle? 43. So then you'd want to top yourself up, and then you can work your way towards maybe getting this Berry Blessings and the designer series paper as well. So, you know, get some cardstock that matches, get some adhesives, you know, get dimensionals. You always need dimensionals, right? And then get up to $120. You can get your Berry Blessings for free. Okay, some of the other stamp sets, I'll just show you quickly. Darling Donkeys, this is free with a $60 order. We've also got Corner Bouquet, which is really fun. I'll show you. I made a card with this one. So this is actually the flower from the strawberry, and I did a stepped up version. So I started off with this and I thought, okay, well, that's cute, but it's still, like, it's a little bit plain. So then I took it up a notch and I didn't put so many flowers on this one. I ran out of flowers, but can you see I textured this paper a little bit? And this is just like a watercolor swoosh. This paper here is from another one of our designer series papers that you can get for free with a $60 purchase. And then this is the final card that I came up with. So we've got the textured brick. I've got it here so you guys can maybe see it a little bit better on the internet. It's so fun. So you put this paper through our cut and emboss machine with a folder, and then it makes it all textured. And then I was referencing this because this stamp here then goes on the inside. And I just love that in black, but I'm thinking about this in way more ways than just putting it in a corner, right? You could have it coming into the side of the sheet, just like that as well. You could emboss it and then use our new blending brushes to put some ink over top. I really love the ideas, you know, that you can do with that corner bouquet. And then we've also got Heal Your Heart, and I'm calling this one the stamp set that you don't want to purchase. You want to get this one for free because you unfortunately always will need to give sympathy and get well cards. So this one here, you never really gravitate towards buying the stamp sets, I find. it's not really like a happy thing that really draws your eye. So this is a great one to get with a $60 purchase because it's got fantastic sayings on there that, you know what, you're really going to use. This Approaching Perfection stamp set is really fun. Again, free with a $60 order, and you got some great sayings on there as well as some visuals too. Okay, so in addition to the stamp sets and then those deluxe items that I showed you, we have a couple of designer series papers. So this one is really fun. This is called our Oso Ombre. And no, the camera light is not playing tricks on you. It is lighter on one side and then darker on the other side. That's what ombre actually means. And it comes in different colors. Sorry, let me just get to the rest here. Okay, so there's a purple one, and then the back side of these, oh my gosh, just make your mouth water, right? So we've got those plain ones, and then we've also got some that have patterns on them. So these ones have the circles on them, and then again the back side of them are just the other solid color. So I really like that you have a lot of versatility with this paper. I'll show you just a couple of things while we're kind of, you know, waiting for everyone to get on the call with us. I put this one through the textured embossing folder. Let's see here. There we go. Sorry. So this textured embossing folder here, isn't that pretty? And it just makes it look like a work of art. And you can use either side when you use a textured embossing folder like this. Now, if you guys are liking things, I sure hope that you are, you know, following along, typing them in. Just swipe to the side and then you can get to the comments, or you can move the comments or if they're in your way. But I love hearing what you like, and I love knowing who's watching live too. So thank you so much for commenting along. This is another one here. This is the, what's it called? Dainty Diamonds, I think. And on either side, it looks really beautiful. It had a rough go in my drawer there, but I also wanted to show you that you can actually change the look of this. So I don't know if you can see on this side here. Oh, you know what? My other light isn't on here. There we go. So can you see we've got some of the white showing through because I've used a sanding block. We don't sell this anymore from Stampin' Up, but you could just use an emery board or some fine sandpaper. And then when you sand it, it exposes the white core of the inside of the paper. So I really love, should we try it on here? Oh, you guys, I'm going rogue. Let's see. Oh, it's so fun. Oh, I really like this. It really pops it out. It makes it look like it's actually painted on a wall, right? You guys have traveled and maybe seen walls like that. So beautiful. Another way that you can use this paper, I'm obsessed with this paper as you can tell, but is with our die that we're actually going to be using on one of our projects here tonight. And you can just layer that over top of one of the blue pieces. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, it's just stunning. I really am excited by this paper. I think that I'll be grabbing it for a long time to come. So if you don't have one of those yet, free with a $60 purchase. Okay, I'm going to keep showing you stuff. And then we've got some more designer series paper. This is 12 by 12, so the other is 6 by 6, but you know, on a square inch basis you get the same amount in both of these sets. You just get 48 sheets of the other and you get 12 sheets of this one. Isn't this beautiful? Take a look at how detailed those painted images are. It really looks like it has texture, although it doesn't. It's a flat piece of paper. And the back side are more graphic prints. You guys can see that there. I really love the fun black. It is black. You guys maybe can't see that, but it's black with these like fun, bright pops of color that just make me so happy. Okay, that one there. And then this one is another one that's really pretty and very detailed. There we go. So nice. So with that one, we're actually using that on one of our projects tonight, and that was the paper that I used on this card as well. So just so you can piece all the bits together. I also used it for a card challenge that I did with my swap, and that I created with these cards and envelopes. So I thought that that beautiful flower paired perfectly with this daisy. So I actually used our daisy punches, and then for the envelope I used our daisy stamp. Can you see that? I just use it with the crumb cake color as well. And then put this together. This is some retired stuff, but I was giving these to my club and these to my swap members as a gift. So that's our little challenge, is to use those. Mostly the cards and envelopes, but also, you know, if you use those centers, then you get bonus points, right? Okay, I also want to draw your attention to another video that I did. I know it's winter, you guys, and we want to move on to spring, but I did a video tutorial showing the gilded leafing 3 ways. So can you see that heart has got gilded leafing on it? This circle here underneath has got gilded leafing on it, and I've got a bit of a splatter there. So just look through my videos on my Facebook page and you can figure out how to use this product. I'm not going to be able to do this in club because it's a little bit more of an advanced product, and it's not going to send very well if we distribute it amongst everyone. I'll just end up as like a gold leaf monster. So I also want to show you, because I've got another special on. In addition to Sale-A-Bration this month, with a $120 purchase, you will get the Bird Ballad Designer Series paper and your choice of either Petal Pink or Mint Macaron ribbon. So the ribbons are really pretty. They're kind of a mess right now, but you guys can see them. All right, there you go. And that's a big spool. I think there's 10 yards on there. And then this is my favorite designer series paper. I've got all the bits and pieces in here. You'll get a full brand new pack. But look at these gorgeous birds. Hand colored by Stampin' Up! Artists with the Stampin' Blends, our alcohol markers. So what a beautiful inspiration for, you know, what we can aspire to be in our coloring ways. Isn't it fun? So this is going to be a full pack of paper, 12 pieces, and you get double-sided designs of 6 different, well, I guess a total of 12 patterns, 6 alternates. Anyways, so let me know if you guys are planning on placing a $120 order. I'm going to be placing an order here in the next couple of days. So if you want to pick up from my house in South Edmonton, you can definitely do that and save some shipping. Or, you know, if you want to place the order online, I've got a link to a code that will apply it for Card Club. So make sure you do that, and then I can get you all your freebies. Oh, you guys, I forgot to mention one more thing. Flower and Field Designer Series paper. This is the last one of our Sale-A-Bration products that I didn't mention yet. And this is what we're going to be using on our first card that we're making here tonight as well. So I really like this one here. This is really fun. I got lots of really nice patterns, kind of big graphic prints. You can cut out flowers. You can use them as background pieces, however you want to do them. There you go. Oh, I'm so happy to see you guys commenting along. Yes, Dainty Diamonds. Oh, wow, so pretty. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I know, Shada. It is very positive that we got to connect through this pandemic. It's allowed us to connect in very different ways, and I'm very grateful for that. Let's talk Paper Pumpkin. I haven't received this month's yet, but I'm going to show you the last 2 months because I still have kits available. This one here is called Very Comforting. So Paper Pumpkin is our kit that is a subscription. So every month a surprise ends up at our door and gives you the supplies for making exclusive projects. It's mostly cards. Sometimes it's, you know, 3D projects, but it also gives you a stamp set and then an ink spot and then all the consumable supplies. So everything that you need really is in one box. The only thing that you need to pair along with it is some scissors and then of course a clear block that will hold your stamps when you're stamping them. So if you're interested in purchasing these ones that I've already purchased from Stampin' Up, they are $30 for a full box, or You can get a refill for $15, and that includes shipping and handling and GST to my house for pickup. If you want it sent to you, I can send anywhere in Canada, and the shipping would just be a little bit extra. This is called Sending Hearts, and it makes 2 different card designs. The last card pack that I showed you there made 12 projects. This one actually makes 8 cards, so 4 of each of the 2 designs. And they've got these really cute epoxy hearts on there. Can you see them? And then of course the stamp set. This is my used one here. But you can see you've got that cute little heart and the snail. Oh my gosh, adorable. Again, $30 for the full kit, $15 for refills. These ones are Valentine's Day themed, but they're not Valentine's. They don't say Happy Valentine's Day on them. They say love you and sending love your way. So they're still neutral enough that you can use them on whatever you want, right? We also have a Sending Hearts add-on, which is, I think, $13.75 or something, including shipping and handling and GST. These make the cutest little boxes. So I'll show you some of the ones that I made. They're kind of perfect size for like a Kit Kat, just to give you a scale reference. So this is one that I made, you know, kind of just as is with some of the ribbon from the Paper Pumpkin kit. Oh, I'm freezing on there. Is it working? I hope it's working. So we've got, man, what's happening? I don't know if you guys are seeing that. Yeah, I'm just watching my replay here as well. It is kind of freezing on there. Okay, well, I hope this gets better. Otherwise, we might have to go like old school mode. Not like, you know, camera and laptop and lighting everywhere. We might have to go old school here. So let's see if this sorts out here in a minute. I don't know if you guys can still hear me. Can you guys just let me know how it's going? Because I've got myself on mute here. You can also use our inks, and you can apply ink to these boxes. Of course, anything white you can apply ink to and customize the colors. So with Gratitude, and then I had one other little box that was blue. I don't know where it is. Maybe it dropped on the floor. But these are really easy to put together. The snails are already pre-colored, and then they're cut out. So you just pop them out. And then from there, you know, you just kind of put them together. There's actually no adhesive needed to put these together. Let's see here. You just fold along the lines that are scored. Oh, taking them apart is actually harder than putting them together. Okay, so they come like this, and then you just, you know, fold along all the scored lines, and then these pieces just tuck in on themselves. They're so cute, and they're great, I think, too, not just for Valentine's Day, which is, of course, happened already, but for little random acts of kindness, little treats for, you know, your friends, maybe your kids' friends, something that your kids can do together with you too. So isn't that adorable? So let me know. I have some of those on hand, so you guys can pick them up as early as, I mean, tomorrow if you want to, right? Okay, you guys ready to get stamping? Yes, you are. I think we've got better image now. Bilka says we can hear you. Thank you. Can you see me now? Is everything clear? I hope so. That's always, you know, the worry here. Where am I going to put this thing now? You guys, I need a tech support person. I need somebody in my bubble to, which is including a 4-year-old, a 1-year-old, and my husband comes home from, how long has he been away? He's been away just a week and a half this time. So he comes home tomorrow. Yay! All right, you guys ready for your first card? Pull it out. It's going to look something like this. And I'll show you the finished projects. So you might have, you know, different patterns of paper. And how you will tell the color scheme is based on the cardstock color here. So I'll show you what we've got going on here. So just want to say is cut out with our dies, and we've got a textured piece of cardstock there in behind. We've got some watercoloring that we're going to do. See, it doesn't like that. There we go. Watercoloring that we're going to do on our butterflies, and we've got some Rhinestone Gems on there too. So why don't we get started? I'll put these up here and then you guys can reference those. Oh, I didn't show you the funnest part of this. Which one has it? Not that one. This one. So on the inside of this, it's a gift card holder. So we have to do something a little bit tricky to make sure that we have enough room for our gift card to slide in there. But I thought, just want to say is perfect for somebody shoveling your driveway. Give them a little Timmy's card. You know, gift cards are kind of the way of the future, right? It's an easy thing to mail or drop off at somebody's doorstep, and you don't have to worry about it freezing, you know, if they're not home for a little while. So I really like cards like this, which incorporate the little gift card holder. Alrighty, so let's make this card. All right, so you got your supplies, and let's do first things first. Let's fold our pieces, and it's going to be just along the score lines that I've already got going on there for you. Okay, so of course we want to use our bone folder. That's going to give us a nice flat fold. And now we're going to put this piece of paper on the inside here, and it's going to be equal framed all around there, and then we're going to put our little flap covering that up. So using Stamp and Seal or your inline adhesive of choice. Oh, you guys, I did a class with the St. Albert School Board for their PD day, and I had to include everything in the kit. So I had to include, well, I chose to, I shouldn't say I had to. I decided to include everything in the kit just so that it would make it so that everyone would be able to do it, whether they were an experienced crafter or not. And I'm miming things along while I'm talking, but I had to include mini glue dots, and so that meant I had to put together the projects with mini glue dots, and oh my gosh, you guys, I just about pulled my hair out. Okay, I'm going to just show you one thing here. With our card, we need to have a little bit of room. So if you take a look at your tear tape, and if you put that in the side from the side, it's going to be too far in. Same thing with either of our inline adhesives. So I'm going to show you a couple of tricks, okay? I really like using the tear tape for something like this. And I'm actually going to put the tear tape half on and half off that piece of paper. So let me show you here. Can you guys, oh, that's white on white. Can you guys see that there? Yeah? You see my dry hands? Don't look at my dry hands. I had to turn down all of our humidifiers. Don't look at my dry hands. Let's fold that back on itself, and then essentially you get half width. So let's take another look at that. So that tear tape is folded back on itself, so it's only half as wide. Now you can't do what I'm about to show you with the Stamp and Seal. Oh my goodness, it's getting grainy again. No. But you can do it with our Stamp and Seal Plus. This is a really fun and different adhesive. I'm just going to pull in my super scrap paper so I don't get my workstation all gross. Yeah, I'm seeing that. And I'm going to do the same thing here where I put it half on and half off. Now take a look. I put too much on here. There we go. Roll it back on itself before I even show you. Okay, so this adhesive is really fun and different because you can actually fold it back on itself as well. If you try to do this with our Stamp and Seal, so not the Plus but the regular Stamp and Seal, then you would end up with a goopy mess everywhere. But our Stamp and Seal Plus is really fun that you can do that. Stamp and Seal Plus is more for things that move, things that you really want stuck together. Stamp and Seal I like because if you put it on crooked, you can fix it. But Stamp and Seal Plus, it is on there. It's really on there. Okay, so if you're using the black cardstock, then it's the Flower and Field Designer Series paper that you've got. That's Sale-A-Bration. And if you've got navy, like this one here, you've got the Paper Blooms, just as your reference. If you're looking at that handy dandy sheet that I've made for you with the coordinating colors. Okay, then we've got Just Want to Say, and you'll look on the back of this and you'll see that I've put an adhesive sheet on there, and that's just for me. And that's just so that I could cut out all of these and use them on future club projects and have them as stickers. So these have the adhesive sticker backing. Now, I don't want you to stick it on like this because it's going to give you so much more excitement. I'm talking like crafting excitement, which you guys know is like seriously exciting, right? It's going to give you so much more dimension to use dimensionals and make your project really exciting when the person gets this card. Wow. They're going to be so excited. No, just me? Oh, okay. So I put 6 dimensionals on there, and then you can just stick it on. Okay, now let's take a look at our butterflies. We've got kind of our base done. We'll set that to the side. Now, if you're crafting along with me, you guys might find that I'm going fast in some spots. And that's kind of because some people might not be crafting along with me, and I want them to still stay engaged and excited. So let's go into zoom mode here. I've got a box and I've got you on zoom mode here. And we're going to use our reinkers to color our butterflies. What I was trying to say though to you was, don't stress. You know what? This video, if you're watching live, it's going to be on replay forever. If you're watching along on the replay right now, you're not stressed at all because you're pausing me probably and catching up. But honestly, this video is never going away. So please just relax and enjoy the experience, and maybe do kind of like every second step or something like that. Maybe I'll tell you as we go which steps would be good for you to do along with me. I'm using some reinkers. I've got the Vibrant card here that I'm crafting along with. Some nice vibrant colors. So I'm going to go with Bumblebee, Poppy Parade, and what's the other one here? Flirty Flamingo. So I'm using my Stamparatus plate as a palette. You can also use a clear block as a palette. I did have one here, but it seems to have gone away. Just one of our clear blocks, you can just use that. And if you don't have reinkers, I should mention that you can actually use our clear blocks along with an ink pad. So you guys are seeing there, ink pad. Open that up, and then I just stamp onto the block. And then now I've got color on the block that I can use and pick up, just like a palette, just the same thing as reinkers. So I want to make sure that you're able to do this at home with the supplies that you have. Even if you want to add these things to your wish list, that's very nice as well. But sometimes you just want to craft in that moment. Oh, you guys, I didn't fill up my water painter. My goodness. This is trouble. I've got another one, I think. Where do I have it? Okay, here. Well, I've still got half in there, but I've got it as blue color. So, sorry. Now's when the music starts playing, the Jeopardy music, right? Just so that I can show you guys as well, because I know you'll have this question too. So with our water painters, oh, come on, camera. Don't do this to me. It's not the internet connection because I can still see myself clear. But you can just squeeze off the paintbrush here. And I like to do it into a baby wipe. They're so good for everything. And Lord knows I've got a lot of them around my house. But now I've got a nice clear color, and it's not going to apply any significant color onto my card. I might have a hint of blue on there, but that's okay. I'm going to be putting so many other colors on there that it's not going to matter. So I'm first of all doing just a watercolor wash, squeezing my water painter, and that's going to apply the color on there. And then now I'm going to start just drawing out some of my color here and starting to water it down. So I'm going to go along the side here. Can you see how beautiful that is? Now, I'm right-handed, so I have to kind of cross over your view here, but hopefully you can still see it. Isn't that pretty? So again, I'm keeping that little baby wipe handy so that I can keep going back. Look at this. I'm going to pick up some color and then I'm going to squish. I'm going to do it on this one here. Squeeze a droplet of color onto there, and that's really going to dry in a cool way as well. So you can do all kinds of different things. Let's put on some of our bumblebee. Now I'm pulling it out so that I can still have a concentrated color there to play with. And I can still work around with it. There we go. Okay. Let's do that there. So I'm trying to leave, you know, a little bit of color variance on there as well. Okay, oh boy. I'm like so low on water, you guys. I'll have to use my water bottle water. Okay, let's do some flirty flamingo in the middle of this flower. You know what this thing is, butterfly. And then let's put some yellow in there to kind of blend the two colors together. There we go. So fun. Are you guys doing this along at home, or is this just therapeutic to watch? I hope it's maybe both. Let's put a little bit extra. Let's go really bright. Move over there, honey. There we go. Put another drop here in the center. I love the dropping. Just so magical. So now I'm just cleaning off my water painter. Our new water painters are fantastic. I just love these things. They are so inexpensive compared to our other ones. Our other ones were over $20 for 2 of them. These are like $16 for a pack of 3. And oh, let me show you while this is drying a little bit. I can show you the third brush. So you get 2 that are paintbrush, like the one that I used there. And then there's this one here that's a fan brush. And as you twist it, you can even fan the bristles out even more. Can you see that? Isn't that fun? So this is a really good investment. And if you've had the other aqua painters, those are the old ones that look like this. If you've had those for a while, then I know that the tips are probably starting to look a little bit mangled. So invest in your artistry and get some new ones. You will thank yourself for it. I'm just using my heat tool here. There are 2 settings on the heat tool. There's an ink drying setting, which is, setting level 1, and then there's an embossing setting, which is level 2. And you guys know what setting I always use. It's all or nothing with this lady. Can't help myself. So I'm going to try dry these to about like 3/4 the way dry, and then I'm just going to set them to the side. Oh, and now I'm frozen. What is going on tonight? I don't know why my phone's acting like this. Charged. Hopefully it sorts itself out here soon. Okay, so I'm kind of making these 3/4 the way dry because I'm about to do another technique as well. So using our same water painter, we're going to pick up some color. I'm going to do this one here because it's kind of a nice medium shade. And so I've got some color on the tip, and then I'm just going to use my lid to flick some color on. Now, I would recommend, I have to have a little bit more water. Here we go. Talk too long. There we go. So then we're just going to flick on some color. You could use the inside of the lid, but my experience is that makes it very difficult to clean because then you've got color on the inside of the lid. Okay, let's do some of this darker stuff here. Poppy Parade. Can you guys see that little bit of extra dimension that it adds? I like customizing things to make it look even more my own. And there's something about the process, right, of crafting in itself. It's just so therapeutic. So that's why I'm really grateful for you guys for joining me, because I think we have to just do things that make us happy right now, things that connect us to others. All right, let's do a zoom in on this and maybe you guys can see. It is not coming up as the right color, but you know what? Afterwards, here, I'm gonna do it now. Afterwards, I'll show you pictures and I swear you're going to be like oohing and awing. Okay, let's get this away here. So now I'm going to bring in my butterflies, which I think are, pretty much completely dry. Where am I going to put this plate now that I've set myself a booby trap with it being all inky? You know what? This little one here needs to have a little bit more heat applied to it. In person, these colors look really vibrant, so I wish my camera was doing it justice, but I'll be posting pictures of the finished projects afterwards here, and then you'll get to see, a little bit closer detail of what's going on. So we're going to use dimensionals to put these on. Oh my goodness, so many cords. There we go. Every month I seem to add something new and exciting to my arsenal. So I'm working with some new lighting here tonight. You'll have to let me know if you like it. And then also my fancy Zoom system. Me and my cardboard box that I bring in, right? It's fancy cardboard at least. It is like one of those fancy IKEA boxes, but it is kind of just a cardboard box. Okay, I'm going to bend up and curl up these wings a little bit. And then just kind of apply these on in a pattern. I'm going to go with the same pattern that I've been doing on all of the other designs here. So these might flatten out as you store them, but you know what? At least they started off looking beautiful, and then you'll remember to curl them up right before you send them, right? Isn't that pretty? Now the final finishing touch on this card is to apply our Rhinestone Gems. And these are just the perfect embellishment for nearly every project. They're so easy, and you can also color them to whatever color that you want, right? You can use your Stampin' Blends, which are alcohol based, so equivalent of like a Sharpie that's in nice colors. And you can color these to whatever colors you like. So ta-da! There's your first project, all finished. Let's get you over here a little bit too. There we go. So, ta-da! There we go. You guys have stopped commenting. I think you're crafting along with me, aren't you? That's awesome. Okay, so our first project is completed. I should mention as well that I've included clear envelopes for your packages. That's what I put all the bits and pieces into. Now don't throw these away. These are perfectly mailable. So you just pop them in there, seal them up. You can write on the back side the address and your return address, or of course you can put on a mailing label, and they go through the post just fine. Actually probably better than paper envelopes because they don't get damaged in the snow and rain. Okay, the next project that you're going to dig out is actually, it's going to look kind of plain, what I've given you, but we're going to make it really exciting. So grabbing our Sahara Sand card base and then grabbing our neutral kind of pieces here. This is very vanilla that we're doing here. Oh gosh, you guys, I got so excited that I'm moving on to the next thing, but I didn't show you where we are going to find all those products that we used. Sorry, just hold on a second. So we're going back to this card here. I'll just show you quickly the products that we used. So from our annual catalog, we've got our water painters, $16.25 for a set of 3. And we've also got our Fluid 100 watercolor paper. So you can feel that the texture on those butterflies are really different than the texture here. This is our new basic white, which is a replacement of what was the previous one? How come my mind is so blank tonight? Whisper White. Whisper White is discontinued. The factory had to shut down, so we're now doing Basic White, which is pretty much the same. It's a proprietary process that Stampin' Up! Owns, so we're getting a very similar product. So you guys don't have to worry about that. Everything is okay. And then So the feel of the Fluid 100 watercolor paper is a lot thicker. The texture actually absorbs the water a lot better, and you can actually go back in again and keep adding more and more color and re-moistening it. If you try to do something like that with our very vanilla or our Whisper White or our new basic white, honestly, it's going to destroy your paper. So don't do that. You need to use watercolor paper, which is the Fluid 100, or the shimmery white cardstock, okay? There's your extra tip of the day. We've got our Rhinestone Basic Jewels, of course, that we used. We used our tear and tape, or you can get the Stampin' Seal Plus. The Stampin' Seal and the Stampin' Seal Plus have the same case. So just buy one of them if you're wanting to start off, and then get refills for the other one. So you can just keep trying out and using both of them. Our punch is the Butterfly Duet punch. And that's great because it does a small and a large in one shot. Punches are so easy and so fun. You don't have to have, a die cutting machine. But if you do have a die cutting machine like I have it just over my shoulder here. We've got our Big Boss or Baby Boss, and those ones actually work with many of them. So these largest rectangles won't go with the mini, but you can see there are so many die packs that do go with the mini. So for about half the price, it's half the size. You can get it for a 50% off item if you have a qualifying order or if you join my club and purchase that much. So that's a really good option as well, to get something that can do a lot of things and, is a great starter tool for you. So the stitched rectangles, that's what cut out the big white piece here. And then where is it? Old World paper, the 3D paper. Isn't that fun? The texture on that. I was going to show you, I got really excited about stuff here, and I kind of went out of order just like last night too. This is a similar paper, or I should say embossing folder to our Old World one, but this isn't the one in our new catalog, okay? So that's the difference between the two of them. They're two different products. Okay, from our mini catalog, we're just using our die pack here, Floral Gallery dies. And that comes with the Just Want to Say. And then from our Sale-A-Bration, you either receive the Paper Blooms Designer Series paper or the Flower and Field Designer Series paper. There we go. Okay, now we're caught up. Now we're in order. I'll get my wits about me. I'm going to blame it on the half-empty water painter. Can I do that? So let's show you what your next card looks like. This one here, you're going to take these very neutral pieces and customize it to however you want to do it. We've got our fun aloe vera plant, which we're going to add lots of color and texture to. You can see how it starts off is quite plain, and then we're going to create a beautiful masterpiece. We're going to use our brand new blending brushes to create this beautiful background. And you can do it in whatever color combination you want. So this is the one that I made last night here with the thanks on there. I think that's really pretty, isn't it? And our blending brushes are not sponges. These truly are brushes. So let's see if it's going to pick up this on the camera. Let's do this. Okay, can you guys see that there? They're tiny little bristles, and they are just the softest thing ever. So you can see this one here, I actually did not wash from last night. I was using two different blue colors on it. I started with the lights Seaside Spray, and then I went to the Misty Moonlight. And because I was going light to dark, I didn't have to wash my brush in between. But when I do wash this, it's just going to clean right up and go back to the white color. I still feel like it's a good idea to have, a few of these. It comes in a set of 3, so you will get, 3 of them. at least, but it's nice to have one for your reds, one for your purples, one for your yellows, one for greens, one for blue. So perhaps like 2 sets of these would be an ideal number for you to have kind of a range of products. So this is how they start off looking. This is how they rinse too when you clean them up. But honestly, you're just going to want to like rub your face with it. It's very sensual. So other things that we've got going on here, we've got some beautiful opal pearls. We've got some vellum here, which you can see is kind of translucent. And we've got some foil paper. I'm doing a little bit of coloring here on the flower pot as well. And then this beautiful overlay is from our die, our succulents die. I cut 2 strips of paper so I could cut out 2 at a time. And of course I put my adhesive sheets on the back of the paper first so that this is going to be a sticker. All right, let's get started here. I'm going to just grab some fun colors. So I'll put this to the side. And you guys know that you guys can go back to that other card if you need to on the replay. And don't lose your beautiful little pearls or opals. Okay, so taking our sheet of vanilla, very vanilla, I'm actually going to go with some purples today. So, okay, that's still, everything's still going, even though my computer turned off. I'm using Highland Heather and Blushing Bride tonight. I'm going to start light and go darker. For the 2 different ones, I put blue kind of at the top and then left vanilla in the middle here and then did blue coming up from the bottom on this card. This one I did like kind of spots of different colors, and the colors I used for that are Pear Pizzazz, Mint Macaron, Granny Apple Green, Soft Sea Foam. So that's what gave that look. So I kind of did the darker ones and then I went in between them with the lighter color. So that's just a different look. I'm going to go for a kind of ombre look going diagonally tonight, just because I want to be crazy. With these brushes, you're going to take your ink pad. Depending on how juicy it is, you're going to have to apply a little bit more pressure or less pressure. And I like to start with my brush off the sheet and then going on. Otherwise, you might get a little bit of a splotch, but otherwise you have a really subtle look with these blending brushes. There we go. So we can just keep building up colors. And can you imagine if you had, you know, a few blending brushes, you could do like a rainbow of beautiful spectrum happening. Okay, I'm just going to keep putting on color, keep blending it down. Can you guys see that? Oh, it's so light. Maybe you can't see it. I'm going to go to more of the purple now. So because, again, I'm going from lighter to darker in terms of inks that I'm applying onto my brush, it's okay for me to kind of mix the 2 of them. Don't go from Misty Moonlight and then without washing your brush go into something that's lighter. So this is the other reason why you'd want to have maybe a few blending brushes, is because, you know, maybe you're wanting to switch colors and you need to rinse them in between, right? Maybe you've got a day of crafting that you're wanting to do, and it takes time for these brushes to dry, so make sure that you have enough. I'm seeing a couple little splotches, and that's just because of pressure that I'm applying. So I'm just going to keep going back and working in more color to blend it. But it's really wonderful. You can choose to, you know, put your finger on the top of it, or you can choose to hold this end of it. That's going to give you a little bit more subtle look, right? Because you're not applying as much pressure. So maybe that's what I should be doing now to blend over some of those little spooches. Oh, it's so pretty. I just think that the possibilities are endless on this. Can you guys see that? There we go. It's coming up on the video. It's funny, it's picking up that the splooches are a little bit darker than they are in real life. And you know what? I've got some elements that are going to cover it as well, so I'm not too worried about that. It takes practice, you know, a little bit of practice, and then from there, you know, you just get better and better and better. So this one here, I've put the adhesive sheet on there. So you're going to think, oh my gosh, she was so lazy and she didn't even cut out any or pop out any of those cut pieces. And it's because of that adhesive sheet that I can just kind of peel this away now. It's going to be a lot easier, and it's just going to pop right out and leaving some adhesive on the back side of this little piece here. So this is now a piece of garbage. Just throw that away. And I like this part because you can just kind of use the adhesive to stick it onto your fingers and take out the last couple of bits. We do have a brush that removes a lot of these pieces, but like I said, with the adhesive sheet already on there, it works really well to just leave it attached and then take them off afterwards. Okie dokie. So now we've got a little bit of adhesive on there with our adhesive sheets, and I'm going to just lay it on there. If you're finding that it's not sticky enough for your liking, or maybe, you know, it's not really sticking at all. This one here is having some issues. I hope you're not having issues at home. Then you can, you know, flip it over and rub it. And that's a really good way of rubbing things that are inky or that are finely detailed and that you want to stick on really well. If you're still having problems, you can, you know, put a little bit, oops, that's too far over. Come on, honey. There we go. You can put a little bit of adhesive there, and then you can just wrap this around. You can, you know, cut it off. If you find that you want even more adhesive, you can use a fine tip glue pen. I'm going to put some elements on top of it, so that'll help hold it all together. I'm not too concerned. There we go. Isn't that pretty? So now, of course, dimensionals. Now, if I'm leaving you in the dust with my speedy crafting, and you're still blending, don't stress. Just leave the assembly for another day and just do some of the techniques along with me here tonight. If you're watching on the replay, you're not concerned. You're pausing me, right? I hope that if you're watching on the replay or if you're watching live, then you're commenting along. Oh, Brenda, thank you. So I'm just going to stick that onto my card base, and you always want to make sure you've got the card opening the right way. That's a rookie mistake that everyone makes, no matter how long you've been stamping. Okay, so we've got that beautiful piece on there, and now we're going to start adding some color to this adorable little aloe vera plant that I've cut out for you with our dies, our succulent dies. So coming in here with the zoom again, let's flip this over maybe. And I'm going to use some Stampin' Blends, and prepare yourself because this is going to get ugly. Like, it's going to get really ugly. Okay, I'm going to start off with darker greens, and I'm going to go Old Olive. These are the light colors. So light Old Olive, light Granny Apple Green. I'm going to go into some mint macaron. I think I've got the dark one of that and the light one. And then we've also got some seafoam. I've got the light and the dark of that. So our blends are alcohol-based markers that do just as they say. They blend very well. And the key to making these work the best is to use our color lifter, which is the clear kind of one that is now going to blend it all at the end. If you're, you know, grabbing your blends, then maybe for our little bucket here, you'll want to grab the light gray granite as well. That's what I used as a coordinating color to go with the Sahara sandpaper. Okay, you guys ready to start putting on some color? Because if we recall, this one here has got a lot of color on it. Let's see, let's bring this down. There you go. Can you see it all? So this one's got a lot of color and depth of color, and it starts off kind of looking flat. So we're going to leave pieces of this as the highlight, but we're going to add that depth of color. Oh no, I was supposed to replace this. This one here is a little bit dry, and I was going to replace it for today, but I didn't do that in time. Okay. Let me just hold this with the take your pick tool. so I'm not covering very much. Okay, so I'm just applying some darker color in here. And this is not a very good example. I'm actually going to skip this one, but I would highly recommend Old Olive. I've got a new one. It's just in the other room. So I'm going to use Granny Apple Green here because that's another color that I was going to layer on top. So let's do this. There, that's going to be the color that you want to see. That gives us more of the look that we're going for. And it's not going to be perfect. In fact, it's going to hit a stage where you're going to go, oh my gosh, I've totally ruined this. It looks really ugly and I need to throw this out. Do not give up on it, okay? Please don't give up on it. It's going to look bad and then it's going to magically turn itself around and everything's going to be okay. It looks like a toddler is coloring this, right? Don't worry, everything's going to be okay. Now, again, working from dark to light, I'm going to use some of my mint macaron, some of the dark color, and this is just going to add some different tones in here. Again, it's not looking pretty at this point. In fact, it kind of looks a little bit scary. Like, you're thinking, what on earth is she doing? Does she even know what she's doing? Maybe I do, maybe I don't. No, I do. It's okay. You guys, everything is going to be okay. So now I'm going to take my light mint macaron and I'm going to start using the bigger brush tip actually. And I'm going to start blending over the other colors. So with our alcohol-based blends, these markers are not finished when they are just applied to the paper. You can still keep moving around the color, even darker colors that are applied to the paper already. And now I'm going to go for some, what was that one there? Oh, that was light mint macaron. Now I've got some soft sea foam, and I'm just going to come in again and just soften up. The lighter colors almost work like a bit of a bleach. And so I'm just focusing with the lighter colors on anywhere where I see kind of a hard line. And then light soft sea foam, I'm going to skip that step and I'm going to go straight to the color lifter with a big brush tip because this is blending very nicely here. But I'm just going to take it up a notch, blend it just a little bit more by applying it basically to the whole thing. Now our final finishing touch for this little aloe vera is to use our Stampin' Chalk marker. And that's going to give us these fun little white dots. So kind of working along. There we go. Working along. We're just going to apply some of the white dots. I think this really adds a lot. I totally Googled what an aloe vera plant looks like. And it might be just a little bit darker than this, but I really liked the subtlety of these colors. And I thought that soft sea foam was a really good place to start for starting to layer up the color. Okay, now let's talk about our little bucket here, which makes me think of the buckets that I have in my classroom that look like this. So I wanted to add just a little bit more detail. You can see the one on my finished project there. I have a little bit more dimension on it. So I'm using my gray granite to come along like this. And yes, the finished project did look like exactly how I'm doing it. So you can put the color on and then you can blend it and lighten it up. So I'm just going to put in some shade just like that. Okay. Now again with that color lifter, I'm going to go over top of it. And this is just going to blend it right along. I'm going to soften it even more at the edge. Now what you're seeing here is the wetness of the paper from the alcohol in the markers, but it's going to dry up. And when it does, it's going to look just like my sample. Now to take it up a notch even more, I've got the Champagne Mist and a blender pen. These blender pens are really great tools. They're double-sided. They come in a pack of 3, so you get a total of 6 tips on them. And these will last you for years. I had some in my classroom that I finally got rid of after about 8 years that I was using them. I'm noticing just a little bit more here that I want to blend. There we go. There we go. I love these markers so much. They're my favorite tool that I own. So the Champagne Mist is similar. It's because it's a shimmer paint. It's similar to the one that we used last month, but this one is actually a little bit more see-through, so a little bit more transparent. If you were to put the Frost White onto black paper, that's the one that we used last month, it would actually turn the paper like kind of white. Meanwhile, if you put this onto black paper, it would turn it gray because you're still seeing the paper, the black paper through. So I'm just going to kind of drag it in from the side. I'm not putting it all over. I'm just kind of pulling it in. And you can use these blender pens with our shimmer paints. You can use them with our inks, however you want to use them. For example, here, you know, I made that little color palette before. You just change colors by scribbling off, and then you can switch colors and you can paint with any color of ink using reinkers, using your ink pads. Again, just use a palette though. Don't put the blender pen right into your ink pad because it's just going to distort your ink pad's color. But there you go, you guys. I hope that kind of inspires you to make a fun little shimmery metallic bucket. Okay, and we've got our beautiful little succulent here, our aloe vera plant. And let's start putting our pieces together. So I've also got, look at this here. I've not got this stamped because I'm going to go with a coordinating color. So just choose whatever color that, you know, goes with your project best. I'm going to do Highland Heather, and I'm going to I'm using some phrases out of the Simply Succulents stamp set. I'm going to use this one. I used the thanks the other day, but I really like the kind people are my kind of people. I think that that's a really fun saying. I like sayings where you can kind of go a couple of different ways with the inside of your card. It gives you more versatility, right? And this punched piece is, of course, from our tailored tag, which is really versatile and gender neutral, clean, modern punch shape. And of course, punches are really accessible. You can just grab them and go. You don't need any machine. You don't need any fancy tools. Okay, so I've also punched the exact same shape out of our foil paper. Now this is the same foil paper that we used last month. We're going to cut this in half so that we can make a little border on the top and the bottom here. So using, I keep grabbing Stampin' Seal Plus, but I just like to use the Stampin' Seal, the regular Stampin' Seal, typically for my regular crafting. And I'm just going to put a little border on the top and bottom. So again, slice that foil in half. This is the Sahara Sand color. So it's perfectly coordinated to go with our cardstock base color. And I really like it. It's such a nice neutral color that looks almost like pewter. Another piece that I've given you is this vellum that's cut out with the stitched nested framelits. And whenever you're putting vellum onto your projects, which for me is every month, you always want to be aware of where you're putting your adhesive. So I like to put my pieces onto the vellum first and then adhere the vellum onto the card so that I can hide the adhesive really well. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, by putting on this little bucket, this little aloe vera plant, now I can see where I can put my adhesives to hide them. I like to offset my adhesive so that it's not too much bulk and doesn't incur extra postage. But you do you. These are your projects. So I'm going to kind of put the dimensional staggered. And I've got one here that I'm going to use to stick it onto my project. Again, if you are crafting along with me, you might find I'm going a little bit fast. That's okay. Video is going to be available on replay. So stamp, or sorry, dimensionals on that piece too, because I love dimensionals. And then put this together. What do you guys think? Which is the best one? I don't know. We've got one final finishing touch. I'm missing one. I always do this. It's probably my Zoom box that slid it off the table maybe. I'm going to use my take your pick tool, and I like the stabby end. Let's use that end. And pick up this beautiful opal. The catalog is not going to do these justice. I put 2 on these other ones. I included 2 in your projects. I'll find mine probably, you know, stuck to my foot or maybe in my bra. Sometimes that happens, and I don't know how that happens actually. There we go. What do you guys think? Cute, right? Fun succulents, making them your own. I like them. Okay, so if you're looking for these products, oh, I'll keep one out here for you guys, sorry. Hey, look it, I found it. That was fast. There, now I've got 2 little pearls on there. Ta-da! You see those? So pretty. Okay, let's do our tour now. From the annual catalog, we've got our vellum cardstock and our very vanilla cardstock, of course, too. Then we've got our tailored tag punch, page 166. We've got our stitched nested labels, and I've used the 3rd largest one, but these are great because they actually stitch on the inside and the outside of the cutting edge. So the cutting edge is that straight piece, and then the stitching is those little dots, and that gives it its extra kind of excitement. Again, I keep talking about excitement with cards. I think I'm more excited about cards than most people, but there you go. We've got our Love You Always foil sheets, and again, we used the pinks last month, but this month we're using the Sahara Sand. And then our Simply Succulent bundle. This one is really beautiful. You can put this into a pot, right, into the pot, or you can just use this as an accent by itself, right? So that gives a lot of versatility. And then we've got stitching around the frames for these words as well. So if you just wanted the stamp set, of course you can get that. Just wanted the framelits, of course you can get that too. The framelits are enormous. You get this, and then a whole second sheet of all these other pieces. And that's where the aloe vera plant came from and the little pot came from as well. So it gives you lots in there. Bundle and save 10%. That's the best way to do it. Okay, next project for you tonight. We're just zooming right along here. This one, I'm probably going to leave you in my dust a little bit because I've prepped a little bit extra. So the next project's supplies are going to look just like this. And your finished card is going to look something like this. Ta-da! So we've got a Z fold, but it's actually it's an opposite Z, right? Opening up to all these different panels. And you can see here we've got some beautiful faceted gems on there. We've got some of our designer series paper that's cut out. I've stamped "Sorry for your loss, wishing I could heal your heart, and I can't promise to always fix your problems, but I can promise you won't ever face them alone." That's from that Sale-A-Bration stamp set that I think is perfect for getting for free. So this is a really good one to choose for free. We've got some fun touches here with the texture on that white paper, and then under here we've got some ribbon that we're actually going to apply. So the ribbon trim is there and there, and then we've got some of our flowers that are kind of cut in half from the supplies that I gave you, and you'll just kind of tuck those in behind in whatever configuration that you like. And then we've got 2 different designer series papers, which of course you can color as well. So for example, this one here, I used the blending brush, so from the previous project, and I just went over top of the paper because anything white can be made whatever color that you want. So I hope that you like this design and are going to get having fun with colors here. Okay, so again, bits and pieces. Let's start by putting some things together. Actually, you know what? I'm going to start you with some coloring, because that's going to take probably the most amount of time. I'm using on this one, you could use any markers. I wouldn't recommend using a water painter. Water painter is going to give you too much water and it's going to start to disintegrate this designer series paper. It's not very thick cardstock. Watercolor pencils along with our blender pens. So just like what we used in that, what was it? The last project? We can actually use these to color. So I've got one of these that's cut out. One I was trying to get ahead of the game last night and I started cutting it out and then I finished cutting out. So it probably looks like this and it has a bit of a border. That's the border sheet of the 12 by 12 paper, and then you're just going to fussy cut. So when you're fussy cutting, I find it's easiest to use the length of the blade, not the tip. Okay, so starting at the inside corner, you're going to keep your scissors pretty still and you're just going to move your paper, and then it goes quite fast. And then anytime you get close to the tip, just start kind of a new one. And then you'll go pretty speedy. Now don't worry if it's not perfect. Nobody's going to be looking at your project in the same amount of detail as what you are, right? So you'll have to do some fussy cutting here on this project, but I hope you appreciate some of the, fussy cutting that I did for you. So what I had anticipated you doing is using the fussy cut image that I have pre-cut for you on the front of the card, and then using the border pieces. This one here is a little bit deceiving. I have a full piece, just that's how it worked out. But I'm just going to cut this in half so that I can make it into 2 pieces. And it kind of looks then like the big flower is behind here. Okay, I'm going to keep on going here. Using our watercolor pencils and our blender pens is a really fun way of applying color. And you can apply it in a very subtle way, or you can apply it in a very heavy application. So why don't I bring in my zoom here? And I'll show you exactly what I'm doing here. So I'm going to start off with maybe doing the leaves in like a little bit of a darker, there's just maybe 1 leaf. I think those are kind of buds. I'm going to do those as flowers. So you can color on the paper, and then you can use, again, you just want to scribble off and then it'll be good to go. And then you can use this blender pen that has the solution already in it, double-ended solution already in it, to actually move around the color. Now, the reason why you can use this one with designer series paper or with very vanilla or whisper white or basic white a little bit better is because there's not very much wetness that happens with this. It's not going to be, a problem in that way where it started to break down your paper. I've got some gorgeous grape here now that I'm going to bring in, and I just scribble clear and then it's ready to go. You can also pick up from the tip of your paintbrush, or your pencil crayon, I should say, and then you can apply it that way too. So that's going to give you a little bit of a different look, and maybe, whatever is your preference. So I'm just going to do a little bit of coloring here, and then I'm going to move along because you guys who are not crafting along with me, I don't want to put you to sleep. So you're going to color all of these going all the way up there. I'm going to go in afterwards and finish this. And again, scribble off, and when it goes clear, that means you're good to go, changing colors. Now, what color should these beautiful peony type flowers be? Let's go with a flirty flamingo, because the rest of this card is just kind of black and white, and then a more generic card base color. I think I've got kind of free reign to add whatever colors that I want. I'm just loosely applying the color here, if you guys can see. I really like the application of, some spots with darker color. I try to follow the stamped image or the image itself, because the lines indicate shading, which is telling me where the color is going to be a little bit more intense, right? You can go as slow or as fast with this as you like. And let's do this one that's a little bit more intense. And again, I'll finish this off after the video, so I won't make you watch all of that. And now you can see the color coming through there. I hope you can see it. It looks a little bit washed out. Again, the colors on the internet are not coming up exactly how they are in real life, but the pictures that I'm going to post are going to give you a little bit of a better idea. So we do have two different selections of colors. So we've got our regular watercolor pencils, which have a lot of our basic colors in there, including a whisper white. We also have a watercolor assortment number 2, which they added, and that one has, some of our different colors here. You guys see those ones? So kind of supplementary colors. That's really good for adding a little bit more variance in your projects. They're such a good deal too. So a pack of them are about $22, I think. And so it's going to give you a full range of colors. I mean, we all probably have the blends on our wish list, but the blends, you're buying 2 markers at a time, and then you're, buying the full spectrum of colors is a big investment. Whereas if you wanted to get coloring really quickly, you could use, 1 or 2 of these watercolor pencil packs and a pack of blender pens. If you're using a different cardstock base, so like for example the watercolor cardstock base, then you can definitely use this water painter just with the whisper white, basic white, very vanilla, and any designer series paper. You want to be a little bit aware of how much fluid you're putting onto your paper. Okay, so again, I said we're going to do a Z fold, but it's an opposite Z. So if you're seeing, what do you see? Like this, it's not going to be the right configuration. Not the end of the world, but this is kind of what I had planned. And then choose your designer series paper. We're going to start putting this one together here. All right, so Stamp and Seal. This is the one that's going to go on the cover, I think. I'm not going to apply any extra color because you guys know the theory of that. So you could apply color to your black and white designer series paper if you want to. You can make it whatever color that you want. This whole package of designer series paper is black and white. So again, perfect versatility to go along with any of our cardstock packs. The cardstock that we're using as our bases here are in colors that are actually retiring. So we have until the end of May then to use these up, and then they're going to be gone, and then a whole new set is going to be coming in. Sorry for Your Loss is going to go on with dimensionals. I'm notorious for misplacing my dimensionals. I haven't done it too much tonight yet. Dimensionals there, and then typically anything inside the card I always put on with just like a flat adhesive. There is an exception on this card here. I'm using dimensionals under Wishing I Could Heal Your Heart, this circle, the 2-inch circle. Okay, so quickly here, putting these beauties together. Again, I'm going to go back and do some more coloring with this, but I'm going to put this on now, and I can revisit it later. This beautiful big one. You can also leave this in black and white, and it would look really gorgeous. I have a bit of a fingerprint on mine, so I have to put it strategically. Don't you love that? You think it's a mistake, but it's not a mistake. It's just a happy accident, and we improvise, right? Okay. So laying that on there, you can stamp whatever saying that you want on there, of course. And I'm just going to prep this here, Wishing I Could Heal Your Heart is going to go with 2 dimensionals there. Now for this little piece here, I've got it already embossed with that texture on there. And then I've got the matching ribbon that goes along with my cardstock here. So if you don't have matching ribbon, that means I actually had to use some of my pool party cardstock base. So that's a little hint for you. That color is not retiring. I'm snipping this in half down the lengthwise so that I can put this as a border on both sides. Stampin' Seal, or Stampin' Seal Plus if you really want to, you could use. And I do 2 strips down, and then I'm just going to lay this as a border. The ribbon is a little bit longer than the paper, and the paper and the ribbon are both longer than the length of your cardstock base. So it'll give you a little bit of flexibility. There's some times where I just know that it's not going to be possible for it to be like a perfect cut. And so I always give you a little bit extra so that you don't have a piece of paper that's a little bit short. Okay, so now I'm going to take my pieces here, and I'm going to, oh, there was a little snip off the side there. That's okay. Let's see here. I'll snip that off again. Nobody will be able to notice that, will they? Okay. Sticking those on. I'm kind of set because I've got a piece missing there and I want to sit that in the corner, but I'm not super concerned. You can just place these together however you like. I'm going to lay this down next, and again my piece of paper is a little bit longer, so I just cover the edge of that. It's going to be different on everyone's project because they're working with different flowers. And then I'm just going to set this one up like this. Now, Wishing I Could Heal Your Heart's going to come in. There's a circle over top. I'm not going to adhere that on just because I've got more coloring to do, so I'm going to just wait for that. But to finish off this card, we're just going to trim off the top and the bottom here. There we go. And again, this just gives you that perfect application. Oh, I've got to use my ribbon scissors here. There we go. And it just makes it look polished. There we go. And so to finish this card, of course, we're going to imagine that this is colored. We're going to imagine that this is adhered on like that. And then to finish it off, we're just going to put on some of our faceted gems. I just put those 2 onto the front of the card, just something like that. There we go. So let me show you where these products come from as you continue crafting here. So, of course, our in color collection, Rococo Rose, Terracotta Tile, Pretty Peacock, Seaside Spray, Purple Posy, those ones are all leaving us as of May. And our watercolor pencils come in the 2 different assortments. So one is $17, you get 10 in there, and then you get 13 in the other one for $22. So good deal. We've got our blender pens down at the bottom here, $16.25 for the 3 double-ended pens, so a total of 6 tips. And then we've got our scoring tool. I've used this on 3 of your projects here tonight. So, oh, you know what? I'm flipping to the other projects tabs, but I'm using this on for creating these little score lines for you. So it's a really handy tool so that you can do some of these other fun, intricate kind of folds. Here we've got our Gilded Gems. Now these are a little bit deceiving when you look at them in the catalog because it actually looks like you've got some green ones there, but I'll show you here what they actually look like. You've got some that are clear, some that are pink, and then some that are kind of white with a sparkle in them. These are so beautiful, very versatile. I use these all the time. We've got our scalloped linen ribbon. Those are in our in colors, so of course anything in colors is going to go. circle punch. I use the 2-inch size. And then for the beautiful textured piece of white here, I've actually used the Scripty 3D, and I put that through our cut and emboss machine. We've got the black and white, the True Love Designer Series paper. This is spectacular. So when you get it, it looks like that, and that's where all these flowers are coming from. So you might have different styles of flowers depending on, you know, what sheet I was cutting out, but the back sides and the front sides are all just black and white, and so they're really versatile and give you lots of options for changing up the colors. And then, of course, the stamp set that I used on mine, which I think works really well with this kind of card, is the Heal Your Heart, which is from our Sale-A-Bration catalog. Okay, you guys all right with that? I'm going to keep going. There we go. Put this to the side for just a minute. I'll give you a moment longer, and then again, you've got that replay, so don't stress. I can tell you guys are watching. There's a lot of people here live, and then I can tell that you're crafting though, because nobody's commenting along, and that's okay. I'd love to hear at the end though which are your favorites and what things you learned and what techniques you liked. The last project that we're going to do tonight looks like this, and yes, there's going to be an extra envelope, and no, that's not a mistake. So it could be in that color scheme, or it might be in these color schemes. This card is so cute and inspired by the gorgeous designer series paper that Stampin' Up! Has created. So this is how it looks, and then you just cut it up. And then we're going to create our ice cream that kind of looks like that, so kind of inspired by that look. Can you see that there? So cute, right? Our sprinkles up at the top, and we're going to do a little swoosh. You can see that this paper has a little bit of a sparkle to it. Maybe you guys can see that. A little bit of a sparkle to it, and that's because it's our shimmery white cardstock. It's got a coating on it, so it's going to allow us to use our water painters and not have a problem at all with kind of disintegrating the paper. We don't have to worry about that. Okay, I'm just cleaning out my, look at how much water I've got left in my water painter, you guys. Living on the edge. This is craziness. Crazy. All right, let's take a look at how this is going to come together. Did you guys see how it's kind of a fun fold opening? We're going to make sure that when we're adhering this down that we only put it on the one side. If we put adhesive across the back of this whole thing, we're going to glue our card shut. So we don't want to do that. Let's get you started with a technique on this card. If you're still working on the last card, just put it to the side and work on this technique with me, and then you can come back to the other card at a different time. All right, so we're going to do, can you guys see the sparkle on that paper? It's so pretty. This is a beautiful paper to use at any old time, but I really like it for doing watercolor swooshes or for special kind of applications. I've got a bit of Bermuda Bay here. I like grounding it with a bit of blue. And so I'm just going to do a swoosh kind of back and forth. Less is more color when you are doing a swoosh like this. And I'm just going to set it to the side here. Now for our cute little tops of our ice cream, we're going to take the extra envelope that I'm giving you and snip it down the sides. This is, okay, do you guys know this technique? If you watched last night, Shady, you can't say what this technique is. I think you were on the call when we were doing this technique. But if you guys know where I'm going with this, it's a little bit of a naughty kind of a name, but I like it. It's a technique called smacking acetate. Oh yeah. So I get joy from things like this. I hope you do too. We're going to take our cut envelope, so it's cut down the sides, and we can now open it up, and we're going to choose out 3 markers or 2 marker colors, whatever you kind of like the look of, and you're going to make a pattern. These are our Stampin' Right markers. So they are the ones that are round. They are not our blends, which are, come on camera, which are rectangular. Okay, so these ones here are water-based. These are alcohol-based, like a Sharpie. If we color with these onto the acetate, the color is going to stay on the acetate and it's not going to move around in the way that we want. So it's not going to let us smack that acetate and move the color around. So let's use, I got one more that I need to do here. Here we go. Petal Pink. You're not really going to see this when I'm scribbling on here, but just trust me, you start off with the lighter color and you're going to just scribble patches. Who's done this technique before? Some of my golden oldies who have been with me for a long time might have. I love this technique. So the colors that I'm using, again, take a look at that attachment if you really want to match. I'm going to use Petal Pink and Calypso Coral and Blackberry Bliss. And I'm just kind of scribbling to the side here like this and making a pattern without kind of going on top of the stuff that's there. Now, you'll want to put more of a lighter color, be a little bit more restraint in your application of a darker color, just so that it doesn't overwhelm things. I can't really see where it is either. Let's see if I can figure it out. There we go. Okay, so now we've got our scribbles on there. Can you guys see what that looks like? Here, I'll move that to the side. It looks like that, okay? And now I'm going to do a couple little things. First thing, I'm going to take my Stampin' Spritzer. This is a little spray bottle that we have filled with water. So I'm going to do one controlled spritz of water. Okay, and then this is the part that gives it the name. You close it up and you smack that acetate. So we're just going to move that little bit of water around and start moving the color. Can you guys see that? I hope you're laughing along with me. Because I really do sometimes feel like I'm alone in my basement cracking myself up. I think I'm hilarious sometimes when it comes to naughty stamping. Okay, we're going to come again with our water in our spritzer, and we're going to now spritz over top. I'm going to do about 3 or 4 spritzes to make sure that my shimmery white cardstock is nice and wet, and then I'm going to close this up, and then that's going to give us this fun look. Isn't that great? So now you're thinking, okay, how do I get it out of here? You get a tissue and you keep that handy, or a baby wipe. Baby wipes are my favorite. So we're just going to do that. I'm just going to pop these out. Now you can keep reusing this envelope. I'm going to, for the sake of television, move along with it, but you can see it's kind of one and done. If you were to reuse this, you'd want to just wipe out with a Kleenex or a baby wipe, and then you can keep reusing that same piece of plastic. Can you guys see that? Oh, it's not showing up as cute as it is in person. My pinks are lost on my camera, but honestly, this is really, really cute looking. Okay, so let's just take that to the side. Now, you can do this technique with our basic white or very vanilla cardstock. It's going to look a little bit different though, because the coating on this card really allows the paper to move. If you were to use it on our basic white, it would look more like this. Oh, is it going to do it? It's going to look more like that, okay? This doesn't have very much color on there, but it's not going to blend like in the modelly way like how I like these ones here. I'm just going to set those to the side to let them dry for a little bit. Clean up my workstation a little bit here. And let's start adhering the pieces of our card together. So we've got a beautiful fold coming in on either side. And you're going to put your designer series paper on so that it's got a border on all 4 sides. Now before you glue it on, make sure you take a look, because I have matched up all of your designer series paper so it's a continuous pattern. Oh, you're welcome. It does take a lot of work to do that for, you know, 48 projects, but I'm a little anal retentive like that, and maybe you are too. And I hope that you, if you are, then you appreciate these little extra things because it allows me to sleep at night anyways. I hope that you enjoy it, but if you don't, then it still allows me to sleep at night. Now I've got that nice continuous pattern going across there. So just in preparation, I'm also going to put this piece on. I'm going to use some Stampin' Seal Plus, and I'm just going to put it down one side here. Again, I'm not gluing both sides because that would glue my card shut. And I'm going to go with this kind of to the side. I really like this to the side because then I can see a lot of the paper here, and then I can see a lot of the paper there when it opens up. And I just love this paper. I think it's so pretty. Let's take a look here. We've got this drying. It's not showing up on my computer, but maybe you can see it at home. I hope you can. It's still a little bit wet. So let's just give that a little bit of a blast. And I think there was a bit of pink still left on my water painter, but I really like the look of it. It's kind of got a hint of bubblegum pink in there along with the blue. And I'm going to put that on with some Stampin' Seal Plus. That's going to really hold this project together. Whenever I'm using my Stampin' Seal and my Stampin' Seal Plus, I like to do a little check mark. Pew! Check. That finishes it up nicely, allows the adhesive to remain on the tip. We had to use that with our fast fuse that we used to have. Now, you'll find a little triangle here with a waffle cone, and I just love this designer series paper pack. It's so fun. Look at this. They give you a whole sheet. There's a little bit stuck on there. A whole sheet that you can punch out with our adorable little punch and make tons of little waffle cones. Isn't that cute? So we're going to glue that on just like that. And now I have to figure out how I want these layered. I really like that one as the top one. So I'm going to put 2 dimensionals on the top one. Oh, I'm so happy, Brenda, that you're learning a new technique. I think that you'll do this one again. And I know I can almost hear your little giggle in my head right now. Smacking that acetate. So for the ones that are being layered underneath, I'm just going to put a dimensional on one side, and that allows it to be kind of raised up texture, but not getting too thick on the card. So I'll show you what I mean in a second here. So we put our first one down, which is dimensional at the bottom, and then laying flat against the card with some Stampin' Seal at the top. And I like to kind of, I don't know, make mine a little bit crooked. And then the top one here, so again, that one here is laying flat so that I can dimensionalize this top one with 2. There we go. Oh, so cute. Okay, so the next part is you're going to take your little rectangle of shimmery white and you're going to stamp a saying. So you can do whatever saying that you want. I'm going to do Cinnamon Cider, which is the matchy-matchy color for this cone. And what am I going to do? I'm going to do the easy one to cut out. Here we go. Hope it's sweet. There we go. Okay, so kind of make sure that that's got good pressure. Perfect. Hold your breath, right? So Cinnamon Cider is one of our in colors that's continuing forward a year. So we've got some of our in colors that are retiring every year, and then some of them that are continuing forward for 1 year, and then a new set is brought out. So the sets come out for a total of 2 years. So we don't have to worry about everything leaving us, but some of them, those 5 adorable colors that we used on the last card, are leaving us. So Hope It's Sweet, this is an easy one to cut out. Maybe you're a bit of a lazy crafter like I am. That's okay. We can be lazy crafters. I'm going to take my strips of, my side strips here of dimensionals. This is a dimensional sheet that I cut in half for projects that I was giving out for that St. Albert class that I did. So I really like the borders for putting on little tiny things like this. Hope it's sweet. Isn't that cute? It needs a little bit more though, don't you think? Yeah, you do. So we're going to add a couple of things. First of all, take your little twine. This is our baker's twine that comes in a 2-pack. It's from our snail mail suite, and we're going to just kind of start pulling this apart. There we go. I'm going to take 2 of those threads and just leave the rest to the side. And I'm going to color them with white. Again, you can make them whatever color that you want. So you can use, let's see, what do I have here? Purple Posy, which is our in color that's leaving us. And I'm going to use my Stampin' Blends for this. You can also use our Stampin' Write markers. Those are the water-based ones. But if you see here, you can just kind of drag your twine through and that colors it. You can make it whatever color that you want. Adorable, right? Again, I'm hoping you could make these cards really simply, couldn't you? But I'm trying to give you techniques. That's what I'm here to do. Now, when you're tying your bow, I like to start with just a tiny little tail on one side. Make a loop. Don't twist these if you can. And then you just wrap around and then put the little, what do we say, the bunny in the hole. My son has zippers and Velcros on his shoes, so I haven't had to do this big tying the shoe thing yet. I'm sure it's in my future though. It never is perfect the first time, so don't get hung up thinking like, oh, I just tied this bow and it's kind of weird. You always have to massage it a little bit, I find. And then I'm going to stick it on with a glue dot, which I will kind of fold in half using my Take Your Pick tool. Sometimes these mini glue dots aren't mini enough and you just need it a little bit smaller. So I like rolling it like that. Then I press whatever I want to stick onto the glue dot, and then I can glue that right onto my project. And I don't get stickiness all over my fingers. Isn't that cute? Look at that nice bright colored ribbon. I love it. Snip off the tails, and then there you go. You've got your adorable little bow. This is so much better than just like a plain white card, isn't it? Now, for our sprinkles, these come in a pack with 1,500 in the pack. Now, I used this pack here to create, oh my gosh, 48 cards, you guys. And I gave you probably maybe double the amount that you will need. Definitely more than the amount that you'll need. So we'll just dump those out. You have to feel them. They're so cute. They're like kind of spongy. I don't know what they're made of, but I really like them a lot. You can make shaker cards with these. You can do all kinds of things. But I'm going to use my fine tip glue pen, which is here. And I just take off the white lid, leaving the black on there. And then now I've got this nice, sometimes there's a little bit of glue on there. You just flick it off. Now I've got this nice fine tip that I can put onto my card here and just do little dots. I'm not really squeezing, maybe like a tiny little bit, but we're going to do that. And then let's go into zoom mode here. So when you're putting the lid back on, I like to use my finger to help guide that in. Otherwise, you could be sitting there trying to thread that little post in for a long time. Don't get frustrated with it. That post saves our bacon because it really allows us to keep a clean nozzle so we can keep gluing things precisely for a long time. My fine tip glue pens last forever. I just love them. Okay, using our Take Your Pick tool, which is that double-ended tool that I've been using a bit tonight. I've been using the pokey end, I've been using the paddle end, but on the other side here is some putty, which you can twist and then it'll come out. I like to twist a little bit and then release the pressure so that it doesn't keep going. And then just as a, take it up a notch, I like to take out this side and I'm going to use that to help apply these little fantastic sprinkles. This makes it a lot less tedious and gives us that perfect application. You guys have a take your pick tool? Love it! It also has a die brush tip that you can use, and this easily just pops all of the die cut pieces right out. It's pretty essential, especially when you're doing a lot of the detailed dies. Then you would be sitting there, you know, poking with this pokey tool for a long time. But the die brush, you know, you can just go right along and it's going to poke through all the holes all at once. Okay, I've got one more little spot. What color do I need to do? Not those ones. All right. I'll give in and do some more purple. There we go. Okay, so what do you guys think? Adorable, right? I still got some of these beautiful little sprinkles left for another card. Oh, I hope you had fun crafting with me. Let's line all of these cards up here. There we go. Ta-da! Did you have fun? Which one's your favorite? Which one do you like the best? You like this one? This one? This folding out one? What do you think? What techniques are you going to use for another project? What do you think? Love to take your pick tool. Love, 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 Bilkis is saying. And really like the ice cream cone, Kimberly says. Oh, Kimberly, I'm so happy that you could join us live. This is great. The kiss. What's the kiss, Bilkis? Which is the kiss one? Now I'm the smack and acetate. Are you making my technique G-rated? Is that what you're doing, Bilkis? Now I'm laughing. Oh, Bilkis. I wonder what you're referring to. You're going to have to tell me what the kiss is about. I don't know which one's my favorite. I just love all of these. Do you guys want to see an alternate that I did? This is the one that I did with the St. Albert School Board. So it's an alternate of this one. I want to step it up with some more kind of techniques for you guys, because I know that you guys have some supplies, or, you know, want to potentially, you know, have some on your list as well that you want to get. And I had to make it all inclusive for them. So I used the designer series paper, like from this pack here, cutting out the blooms and then putting them over here. The designer series paper is what shows through on the inside here, and it's a cardstock base so that they could, you know, just fold that in half and easy peasy for them to create. Okay. Bilkis says that's the one, the kissing one. Bilkis, it's smackin' acetate. Don't you G-rate my my fun technique names. Oh, you make me laugh. I miss you guys. Shada, what are you saying? I love the technique for the ice cream one. It's my new favorite sweet. Did February card swap with this sweet? Yes. Oh, and I wanted to show you guys. Oh, I haven't taken you through the catalog for the last one here. I'm happy that I didn't sign off yet. I would remember that in the middle of the night. You know how you do that? Sometimes you roll over and then all of a sudden, oh, I forgot something. But I wanted to show you, look at how amazing this looks in its full 12 by 12 form. Isn't it incredible? And aren't they smart that they've created this pattern for you, and you can just, I would have to trim it down a little bit to actually give you a proper demo, but you can just work your way along making out ice cream cones in whatever colors you want. Can I show you my favorite one? Smackin' acetate. The kiss. I'm gonna laugh about that for a while. This one's my favorite one. It makes me think of like limeade. Oh, yum. And what would it be? Blue raspberry and limeade? I'm salivating. I want ice cream now. The back sides of these are cute too. I should show you. And let's see here. This is the other one that I made. Okay, so of course we've got our waffle cone one. But on the back side, these adorable, beautiful, detailed, and speckled little ice cream cones. And then we've got popsicles. Popsicles are part of the stamp set too. So take a look at this. On the stamp set, you've got, of course, the coordinating images that go with the ice cream cone, but you also have this two-step popsicle that you can create. So you can get a look like this by stamping the top part in one color and the bottom part in another color. Isn't that smart? And then, of course, you've got the little stick for the popsicles as well. You've got speckles and sprinkles, and then all these great sayings in there too. And of course, bundle and save 10% on the punch when you do this along with it. Okay, let's go through the rest of the designer series paper fast here. We've got soft serve and sprinkles. I think there's other ones that I'm missing here. There's, of course, all the different colors of these kind of swirly ones or splotchy ones. And I think that's it actually. Yeah, okay, that's it. The back side of those ones there. Okay, let me show you where to find these in the catalog for that last card. So let's start with our annual catalog because it's retiring first. And we're going to go, where did I tag this page? Oh, no. I don't know why I tagged this page. Oh, our Stampin' Write markers. That's what I was going to show you. Yes. So our Stampin' Write markers come in color families. You can get 10 markers at a time. You can do 5 markers at a time if they are in colors. Or you can do the Many Marvelous markers, which gives you this gorgeous... Oh, kiss the butt. Oh, Bill kiss. You're making it even dirtier. This amazing box is fantastic, and look at, they've got a color sorting tool, so you just have them organized by regals, neutral, subtles, and you know exactly where to find them. I'm notorious for not putting mine away right away, so I always have a bundle like this too, because you know I just want to spend my time crafting. I don't want to be cleaning, right? Okay, here, what did we use here? Well, we used the water painters, right? Did we on this card? Yeah, because we did this little swooshy, and I think that's it on this page. And then, of course, the Simply Score tool, I wanted to show you again. And then we've got our gorgeous ice cream corner suite. Look at that. Isn't it fun? I really love how they've used the sprinkles to create a shaker card. Can you imagine? So cute. With 1,500 in a pack, like that's, you know, you've got a lot there. So sweet ice cream is a bundle and save 10%. Where is that bundle? You can get, if you wanted to, you can just get the whole suite with one item code. So you just let me know if you want to do that. If you get that, then you can choose out a Sale-A-Bration item of your choice. The designer series paper, the sprinkles, and then there's also some ribbon as well. Oh, there's the bundle up here. Bundle and save, $42.25 for the stamp and that punch. That's a really good purchase, I think. And then the Snail Mail Twine combo pack here is what we use to create our custom color of snail or twine. Okay, guys, look at this mess. Oh, I'll turn you up here. And you can look at me one last time. Oh, how's it going? So good to stamp with you tonight, or if you're watching the replay, please comment along and say that you're watching the replay. I really enjoyed our time together, and I hope that you enjoyed these projects and maybe learned a little something new as well. So thanks again for stamping with me, and hope to stamp with you again very soon.